Okay, today I have a lot of things to cover. So the first thing is Bash terminal. Some of the things maybe is familiar to you. I'll just run through in case if you would like to stop and slow down, so then you may have to ask so that I'll slow it down. If you don't ask, then I would assume that you guys are familiar in that. So I would move fast. So that's how, is that okay? Is that fine?
Yeah, should be fine. Should be fine. Yeah, should be fine.
Yeah. So I'll start with Bash terminal. Then I would like to go ahead with some few basics like what is root user and regular user and file system or structure, organization, and some system navigation commands like file create, directory create, and file search. There's commands for searching the file, searching a pattern search, file search, all of that, and system process management. And then finally text processing command, which is nothing but a in case if you heard about that. And with that, we'll close. Big list of commands today. I would like to focus. Maybe if you would like to get a little more detail in any of these topics, stop me in between and ask me questions. I'll be able to slow it down. Okay. Otherwise, I will go
Okay.
on.
Okay, just a point on that one. So whatever the commands or a list of commands that you will be running, so you have we understand you have a kind of notes or saved
So the
somewhere.
same
So if you
slide,
don't
the
mind,
same
you
slide.
can share that commands with us. Summary of commands.
Yeah, the same slide I will be sharing it with you. Same slide.
Okay,
The
okay.
slide,
That will
slide
show
at the time.
the commands.
Correct.
Let's say, for example,
Correct.
make a
Yes, yes,
directory,
yes.
move
Correct, correct.
folders and all. Thank you.
Yes, yes, definitely. It shows. Okay, so we'll move ahead. Okay, what is Bash terminal? Bash terminal is a program that provides an interface for the user to access the Linux kernel securely. So Linux kernel needs to be accessed very securely. So there's a way or a method to access the Linux kernel, and that's what is the shell program. Shell is a program. It has got a built-in interpreter. Interpreter is something that translates from one language to another language. So computer understand binary, and we we feed inputs in English like languages. So we need an interpreter in between to help us translate the language that is given from the user to the binary. And there is a built-in interpreter present inside this shell, which does the job for us. And it helps us to run some services. We can run some scripts, we can do some routine tasks. So many advantages that we have in the shell. There are so many kinds of shells as well. So Bourne shell, generally referred as the SH, C shell, CSH, Corn shell, KSH, TCSH, Turbo shell, and Bourne again shell, that's generally called as Bash. So these are the shells. So Bash is predominantly being used, and our training is going to be based on Bash. Okay, so the picture shows the same thing, whatever I mentioned. User is trying to give some inputs through the shell to the kernel by means of some commands and scripts. Kernel would be able to retrieve do the instruction given by the commands or the script and process it in case if it requires to be done along with the hardware. So it will do so and then provides the result back to the user through the shell. So that's about the shell introduction. And we will start with some basics which we may need to know before operating the Linux system. So basically, there are two kinds of users. So one is the system user, and that's a regular user.
But
So
just
very
one
high level.
question, yeah, Alex. Sorry to
Yeah,
stop you. Before you
sure.
proceed to next slide, just going back to
Yeah.
the bash, you say there are different types of shells, bound shell, C shell, and so on. So, is there any specific requirement for this one, or that okay now for this purpose we will use corn shell, for this purpose we will use turbo shell? Is there any specific segregation between the shells as far as the usage is concerned?
As far as I
No, it
know,
just
the answer is no. So there is no specific thing, unless otherwise, if there is a traditional, conventional thing, previously they have been using Bourne shell. Some scripts might be written on shell, Bourne shell, which is a little
so how we
older.
identify the
And
difference between the shells?
Correct. So that's a good question. So the difference between the shell, if you see at the start of the shell script, you would see a line called shebang line. So I'll talk about that a little later, but there will be a if you open a shell script, so you can see there will be a line called shebang line. Shebang line will tell what kind of shell is being used. So how to differentiate between Bourne shell, bash shell, and things like that. So the differentiation comes the way we invoke the shell command. So another way is actually these shell binaries are located in /bin directory. I'm not sure am I jumping here and there, but I'll just give you in case, since it is a little deeper thing, so I may have to give this kind of information. But so there is a way to differentiate these shells. These shells binaries are located in /bin directory. So we may have to give this location /bin sh in case of Bourne shell, /bin/bash in case of bash shell, and /bin/csh in case of C shell, and so on. So the purpose of having this many shells are basically is because some of the scripts earlier would have written in some of them are written in Bourne shell, some are written in C shell, some are written in T shell. That's quite very old. All of them are now migrated to bash, to my knowledge. So in case if there is a very old system that we are dealing with, then probably we might have to look for this /bin/sh /bin/sh. That will refers to Bourne shell, which I had seen in some of the scripts. So all other things by default it's bash. So by default the system works with bash. So you can keep it like that, unless or otherwise you specify that I want to have a Bourne shell or a K shell or C shell. You may have to say /bin/bash or /bin/sh or ksh, which would take you to the specific shell. But otherwise,
clear.
bash is the
Just
default
to
one. Yeah.
okay, clear. So is
Yeah.
it related
Thank
to
you.
operating system we selected like CentOS, Ubuntu, and so on?
No,
Or like bash? If you
answer
say
is no.
bin bash, okay,
Yeah,
halas,
bin
clear. And the
bash,
second thing is
yeah.
okay, and the second
Bin
thing is
bash
let's say bin bash.
Yeah, bin bash is the
Are there
default one
any
for all
like
operating systems.
Okay, clear. So it means there is no difference with the way you write the scripts between bin bash and bin turbo or bin other, right? There is no difference in the way you write the scripts.
There is a
There will be
small
difference.
Yeah, small difference. You can see this is an evolution. So initially they started with Bourne shell, and then they have updated to Bourne again shell. So there was it got evolved. It in a period of time it got evolved. That's the reason you see some older scripts written in Bourne shell. But so it's all compatible. So the Bourne shells. The bash commands, some of the bash commands may not work with Bourne shell commands. I mean, the downward compatibility may not be there. The upward compatibility will be there. Okay.
So the latest is bin bash. That's it. Clear.
Correct. That's what it is. Okay. So we'll move ahead with some basics before putting our hands on to the server. So we need to understand some of the basics. So one is the user account. The other one is the file system architecture. I'll be touching upon these things quickly. So one is the user. We have two kinds of user. One is the root user. The other one is the regular user. Root user is the super user or the administrator, admin user, or privileged user who is having the ultimate control for the server system, and he can access any location, have access to all commands. So he has the ultimate power control for the system, and this user gets created when we install the system. So the way the root user is the root user creation is slightly different with different distribution, but pretty much you can easily get into the root account easily. So there's a small difference. Some things, for example, Ubuntu, when you install the system, it'll prompt you to enter the root password when you install. For example, if you try to install CentOS or this one Red Hat, so you will have to uh, basically you would not be prompted to enter the password for the root. Instead, you will be given the regular user would be put into an admin group so that you can add the password for the root later. So there are small minor differences in the way the root account is creation is done with respect to the distributions. That is number one. Number two is a regular user. Regular user is a non-privileged user, which is created for a user account. So as we all know, like Linux is a user, Linux is a system which it's capable of supporting multiple users. So many users can operate on the system at the same time. So we can create multiple user accounts for the Linux system. And this the user can only be by the admin user or the root user. So that's a thing that we need to know. So about the users. Okay, coming to the groups. Groups are nothing but it's a combination or a group of users form a group. Group of users form a group, and the group actually, why do we have to have a group? Basically, Linux is architected in a way like no user can exist without being part of a group. So whenever you create a user, the Linux will create a group automatically, which is called the primary group. And so suppose if you're trying to create a user account by name Shafi in your system, so you'll create a user with the name Shafi, and the system would create a primary group by default, and you don't need to do it anything. So you will create a primary group with the same name Shafi, and he puts this user into this primary group, and he will do that job of creating the primary group by itself, and we don't need to do anything, and he'll make that particular user part of the primary group. And there's another thing called secondary group which can be created, and there's an additional group which we can create by the which can be created by the root user, and we can assign whoever we want, all of these users, whichever users that we want to put them into different groups, we can do that. For example, if we have finance department, we have development department, we have a testing department, we have so many departments, and we want to assign people into different groups, and we can create a group and we can assign all peoples into different groups and give the required access. The concept behind having the group is basically we can assign the access permissions to the group so that the whole of the members that are present in the group can get the access directly. For example, I'll quickly give one example. So for example, if you have an SSH service, if you have a SSH service in your server, and you can create a group called SSH users. Okay, so this is an example, quick example I'm giving, SSH users, and you can assign the people who you would like to assign the SSH services to the users, the respective users, and you can put all of them together into this group, and you can give the SSH users group the required permission to access the SSH service. Not everyone can access SSH. A typical real-time example is what I just said. So similarly, you can do lots of other things with the users and groups. Okay. Next one is file system structure. So so the file system structure is a hierarchical one. So unlike Microsoft Windows or Apple, so it is a hierarchical based structure, which what I mean by that is Linux always requests to see any files or a directory starting from the parent. So parent is nothing but the root directory. Root directory is denoted by forward slash. The picture at the left, you can see root directory is mentioned, and that's the ultimate parent for every directories and files created in the Linux. So from the root directory, we have all the directories created, and inside the directories, we can create subdirectories, and inside the directories, we can have files and subdirectories, whatever way we want. So that's how the file system structure is architected in Linux. So in case if you want to access a file or a directory, so Linux always prefers to have it referred from the root. So otherwise, he will not be able to reach out to the file or a directory that we are looking for. So if he will not be able to actually look into different location the way we do it for Microsoft Windows. So it's a little different the way to access the things. So it goes by the root directory. It starts from the root directory. How many our partitions, how many our disks that we have, it doesn't matter. It always starts with the root directory. configuration that we are meaning here to access the file or a directory. So the picture at the right is showing the root file system, Linux root file system. Linux root files. So what is Linux root file system? So that is a root directory under which we have a set of directories. There are directories called etc, and we have directories called home, and we have lib, opt, sbin. So different directories, all of these are system directories, and except the one which is the home directory. Home directory is the home directory which is having the specific directories for each of the user accounts. How many other user accounts that we have? We'll have a home directory for each of the user accounts, and the home directories will have the complete permission for the particular user to create, write file, read file. All sorts of permissions are restricted only to home directory for a regular user. So that's about file system structure. Notes on this, I made it little quick to cover. Is there any doubts you can ask? Otherwise, I'll move
Just
on.
one thing for me, Alex. If you go back to the user and group slide,
Yeah,
please.
yeah.
So for the, okay, the concept is clear, but just to understand a step further, we are talking about primary group and secondary group, right? So let's take an example of
Yeah,
secondary group. When we create a group, let's say a group
yeah,
admin, for example. So normally we should
yeah.
have an option to define the privileges and permissions for this group. We will be seeing this, right? How to define or what permissions to define for this group.
Yes,
Correct. Like for
yes,
example,
yes.
he can add a directory, he can remove a directory, or I mean, member of this group can do this kind of actions. We will be seeing, right,
Correct.
this one.
We
How
should
to
be able
define it,
to
where to
define
define
that.
it, and so on. Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
should be able to define such things. If it is a service, then we may have to do this configuration in the service-based configuration file. If it is a thing that mostly it will be a file, or if it is a configuration file is where we may have to do that. And generally it will be, there will be a configuration file. We may have to specify this kind of users. We may have to give this
Okay. So we will
applications
see this when we go to
ability
the
to
bash for practical commands, right?
user management. So we
Okay.
will get into
Okay.
that when
Clear.
we go to the
Clear.
user management. Yeah. Okay, so file structure, so we'll move the system navigation commands. So system navigation, so this is basically a few of the things, few commands. So pwd is the first command I would like to start with. So pwd tells the present working directory. So there's a directory. I hope you all know what's a directory. Directory is simply imagine like a folder that we use in our day-to-day life, where we can keep all our files and files, important files. So we may have to, you can imagine there are so many directories likewise inside the system. So if we want to know which location we are in, so we have a command called pwd, which is present working directory. We can use that command to know which location we are in. So from that location, if we want to move to different directory, we have a command called cd. Cd is a command to use to move forward. Cd is a command to move forward in
Alex,
the
just
sense, yeah.
just a minute. So this one, we are comfortable with this list of commands. If we want to proceed, next slide is okay for us.
Oh, yeah.
Here
Perfect.
we are not talking about creating multiple groups, right? So touch, here is the touch. So I create empty file. Okay. This one, I think maybe this one is okay. Remove RF
This
is
one
okay.
is okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is okay.
So
Next one, maybe.
this is about this one. So this is also like
Yeah,
how to create a file, how to remove a file, how to use cat
yeah,
command,
this one I think.
how to use
Yeah,
more
yeah. I mean,
MV.
theory wise is okay for us, but when it comes to practical terminal, yes, we want to see touch, especially touch more and more, maybe touch more.
Touch and more.
So
So
theory
once
is okay.
again, I quickly show to you in practice, practical as well. One second, I have the system ready.
But this list of or summary of commands you will share by the end of session itself, right?
Right. Yes. I have it right away with me, so I will be
Okay.
no issues in sharing it. Okay, so do you see the screen, the terminal screen? Do you see the screen, right? Screen in the sense the CentOS screen, CentOS terminal.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah. So you want to see the touch command, correct? So touch has got two things, two functionality. One functionality is to create a file with 0 bytes. So that is number one. Number two is it will update the timing. So it will update the time for a file. It will touch. Touch is used to sometimes update the file with the time. The latest modified time will get updated with the current time. So there are two purposes for this touch command. Let's create a sample file with touch command now. Touch, I'm going to say that file one. Okay, so there's a file. It successfully created a file. And if you see ls minus l, so ls minus l file one. And so this is the file uh, that's got just created using the touch command, which has got 0 bytes in it. So this is the way touch work. And if you want to, is there any other command that you would like to see? Cat,
Yeah, I mean,
or
touch
you
is you
like
are
to?
using it to create a file.
Okay, yeah, touch is used here for creating a file, but this file will have 0 bytes in it. It will not have any content. At times
Just
we
the
might
name of the
want
file,
to,
like empty
yes,
file.
yes, yeah, empty file, yeah.
And for directory, it is mk. So for file is touch, for text file or
Yeah,
any other file.
yeah, touch is yeah, touch is a way to create a file. There's another way to create a file called cat. Cat is a command that we can use to create a file with content. So I'm using cat greater than file2. And
Okay.
the cursor is waiting here for me to enter the content. So the content is, this is a demo file
Okay.
created using cat. So cat is a command which can also be used to create a file along with a content. And I've given a content now. I'm going to exit by pressing Control and D key together. Control key and D key saves this content inside this file 2, and the file 2 is having the content now. So I can see file 2. File 2, you can see there's a 46 bytes here. So this is the file 2 content, and you can read the content of the file 2 by giving cat command, cat file 2, which reads the output of file to content.
Okay, touch the just the file it will create without content. So then you need to go edit again this file if you are using touch too. So this one is create and add the content. Okay, fine.
Correct. So the best, I mean, these are things sometimes we might have to use in the script. So that's the reason this cat and touch
Okay,
and all
okay,
are there. So if you want to
okay,
use, actually edit a file, it's always better to use a file editor, Nano or VI. I hope you know that.
okay.
So
Yes.
file editor, so file 3, I'll create using Nano editor. So Nano text here. So this is a file demo created using Nano editor.
Okay, create an empty file. Okay. Yeah, this
Mm,
clear
File 3.
this one.
Yeah.
So merely for the script purpose, cat create a file and add the below
Mm,
content, then exit. Okay.
mm.
Touch is just the empty file name. Okay, clear.
Correct. Yes. That's it. So quickly I'll show you, you asked for more commands. So I'll quickly show you the more
Yeah.
part. Okay. So there's a
Your voice is not coming.
no, 1 second. So I'm
Hello.
trying to log into the
Okay.
is my uh, is it, am I audible?
Yeah, it's breaking somehow in between. Yeah, in between it is kind of sometimes slow the screen. Sometimes your voice is
Uh-huh.
breaking. Huh? Just to inform you.
Oh, really? Okay. 1 second. So I would like to get into the root account. So if you see this root account, there's a file called there's a log message file. So I would like to show, which is a little big. Okay, so I'll open this file which is present in cat var log messages. So you see here, this is a list of log. This is a file which has all the logs that are stored in this system. So it keeps logging the information as and when the things that it does. Okay, so along with the timestamp and the details, different processes and daemons keep logging all things into this file. And this is a very big file. So so when we try to read this file, it goes all in one shot and we will not be able to look the whole thing. So there we have a problem. So how to read is basically in this kind of times we can use this command more. Okay, more var log messages. So this will show the content page by page. So this is now showing the first page. I'm pressing my space bar.
Okay.
Space bar, it is going to the next
Clear,
page.
clear.
And
So is less and more are the same, you mean?
yes, less and more of same. Yeah, that's correct.
Clear, clear. So I thought it's different than one. So okay, less we are aware about the less. So it's the same as more. Okay,
Okay.
clear. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so we'll move ahead. Is there any other command that you would like to see or know?
From this list, I think we are good.
There's another command called head. You know, head command.
The top lines, you mean? We need to mention the number of lines.
Top 10 lines. Yeah, if you want, by default, it gives the first 10 lines. If you want to give only the first 2 lines, then you can mention -2. So it will give the first 2 lines.
Okay, if we don't mention the number, by default it's 10.
10. By default, 10. Okay, and same way it is tail, last 10 lines.
Okay, clear, clear.
Same way if you want to give -2, it gives the last 2 lines. You can give any number. By default, it gives the 10. You can also give 15, 20 also, but you may have to specify. By default, it gives 10.
Clear.
Okay. Yeah. So move, copy, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Move is a command to rename a file. Copy is a command. CP is a command to copy one file to another.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next command, which is called grep. Grep is used for pattern searching within a file. So how about this one, this command?
We are aware, but I
Grep
think
on,
you can
grep
go through this one. We are aware of this one, but please better go through this one if you can. Grep -r pattern.
Yeah. Grep is a command which, grep is a command which can be used to search a particular pattern inside a file, inside one single file or a set of files or within a directory or within a location. So all can be done using grep. So if we have a directory and which has got subdirectories and files, and we have a pattern to search inside that, so we can use the grep. How to use that? So there's a syntax which is given here, grep options pattern, and we can give the list of files. So grep and give the options we have, or given listed down at the right hand side, we have -c, which will list down the number of it gives the count of the lines that matches the pattern. So suppose if you want to search for Linux in this in a file, given file, it will give the number of count. So H is actually display the matched lines, but do not display the file names. I for ignoring the case, L for displaying list of file names only, and N for display the matched lines and their line numbers, and V prints out all the lines that do not match, that do not match. It's a complement of the selected pattern, and E is actually checks the expressions things, and F takes pattern from file 1 per line, and E and so on, like W for match whole word, O, and A and B, A, B, C at the bottom that you see here. A will print the number of lines that are number of lines that is after the matched line. So if suppose if you're want to print 2 lines after a matched pattern, for example, if you have a pattern called say Qatar, okay, Qatar in a log file, which is not a regular scenario, but I'm just giving, there's a pattern called Qatar in a big log file, and we want to print just 2 lines after that pattern. You can use the capital A. You can remember it's after. And B, similarly, if you want to print 2 lines before the matched pattern, you can use -B. So that will give the 2 lines before the matched pattern. C can be used, print searched line and N lines after before the result. Okay, so likewise, maybe I'll quickly show to you some of the things in my terminal. with the same log messages. What I will do is cat var log messages, and there's a command called pipe. So I'm using a pipe symbol here.
Okay.
This pipe symbol is, you can imagine like a plumbing, the pipe that we use in our plumbing stuff to transfer water and liquids from one location to another location. So we put some pipe. So you can imagine like that. So the contents of one command can be passed on to the other command using this pipe symbol. So that's where we use this pipe. So in this case, we are passing the messages, the content of the log into another command to filter out some of the things. For example, if I want to filter the messages that are coming from the system D. Okay, system D is a process. System D is a daemon that we all know.
Yeah, your system, the session is slow, huh? I think it's delay. There is a delay in,
okay.
looks like, I don't know, because
In
of
my
the network. Yeah. So there is for sure
in my
delay.
voice.
No, voice
Okay,
is
okay.
ahead, but on the screen is delayed. So I don't know,
I
it's because
see.
of some Wi-Fi. What is the reason? It's coming delayed.
Okay. Yeah, so pattern search command. Okay, so we'll quickly do some things with a grep. So I was talking to you about the pipe, right? Pipe thing. So
Yeah.
pipe. So this is what I was talking to you. So now the output of varlog messages is given to another command, which is grep, through this pipe. So the output of one command is passed on as the input to another command through pipe. So what I am trying to do here is by passing on the output of this varlog messages to the next command grep, I would like to filter and print only the messages that are given by the system daemon. So I'm going to hit my enter. So now you can see it is listing down only the logs that are given by systemd. So it is actually filtered only the systemd logs. Am I making sense? Is it visible
Yes.
to you?
Yes. Yeah. We can see this one. Yes. We got it. Yes.
Yeah. So one more thing, I'll give one more quick example I would show you. So that is basically I have a file called codes. Okay. So file. Okay. So I'm going to do a quick search. This is for Confucius. Okay. So Confucius. So I'm going to give this search. So what I'm going to do is Confucius in the quotes. Okay, so I'm grepping for this pattern Confucius in the file quotes. So now it is giving me the thing. Okay, now if I want to print the two lines after the matched pattern, then I can give -a. Sorry, minus -a2.
Okay.
2. So this is going to print the two lines after the matched pattern. If I
Okay. So
give
when okay, as soon as it hits, after this hits, two lines, including this hit.
2 lines. Yes,
Okay.
correct. So if you give B, then it gives 2 lines before. Okay. And if you give C, it gives 2 lines before and 2 lines after. 2 lines before and 2 lines after.
So for C, it is before and after. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a good command.
So
Just 1
yeah,
minute,
so this
please.
is yeah. So with respect to grep, you can, I was doing a search only on a specific file, which was located in this location. So in case if you want to do if you want to do a pattern search for thing under some directory. So which directory? Currently, I'm in the home directory. So let me do a pattern search. So how do I do the pattern search? So grep, I can give the pattern that I want to search. Before that, if I'm using a directory, then I have to give the option -r. Or means it's going to do a search inside the entire directory that I'm going to give -r, and I'm going to give the a pattern. This time I'm going to give Gandhi, and I'm going to give the directory. Directory is /home/Alex. And it is giving me the matched pattern present under the codes file inside this directory. So there is a file called codes inside my home directory, home Alex. And inside the home Alex directory, there was one line which matching the pattern Gandhi. So it is printing that message.
Okay, clear.
Yeah.
And
So
if you long list this one, you have more than codes, right? There is not just codes, but there are more files or directories.
yes, exactly. So if you have
long list,
more files, correct. So it will give the list of files and the list of, so it was a minimal demo that I did. So
Okay.
yeah, so it will give the complete list of files along with the things. Okay, so that's
Clear.
about the grep. And okay, so basically I'll finish it off with this file search because I have a hard stop at 4. So find file search command. So if you have a file which we would like to search for, we know there's a file which is located in my system, but you do not know where this file is located. So we have a command that is handy to do the search for us. So we need to find out how to use this command. So the command syntax is find, and we need to give the path we need to search for. So give the path. So the path could be a root. In case if you want to do a complete search, you may have to give it in the root. And if you're a root user, you can do that search. If you're a home user, if you're a generic user, then you might have to give the home directory path. And the options could be you can do the selection based, search based on the file name, or you can do a search based on a directory. You can do a search based on the file and size. So all of these comes under the option, and you can give the file name. Okay, so there are 3 examples that I've given here. So find and tilde, actually tilde represents our home directory. So in case if it is given tilde and if I'm logged in as Alex, so it will means /home/Alex. So find tilde minus name actually searches, minus name represents that I'm doing the search based on the file name. So find tilde minus name, and I'm giving the name of the file. So hello.sh. So it's going to retrieve me if there is a file hello.sh in my home directory, and it's going to give me the complete location in case if it is within a directory, inside a directory and subdirectory. So it will give the complete path where this file is located. So that is first example. Second example, to do the same thing for directory search. If you want to have a directory and you know the directory name, but you do not know where this directory is located inside a system, so you can give the same thing, but you may have to add the thing like type D. By default, it used to refer to the file. If you want to do a search for the directory search, then you may have to give -type D, and then you can give the name -name and give the directory test. So the name of the directory, there is a directory named test inside your home directory, then it's going to retrieve the location, complete path of the test directory. Suppose if you want to do a file search for all the files, which is more than 20 MB, you can give this command, find tilde type F stands for file. So you want to see the files that are more than 20 MB. So size is 20. So plus 20. And in case if you want to make it minus 20 MB and more. So that's what it means here. So you can give any things like that to retrieve or to list down the files that are based on the sizes. So if you want to retrieve or delete some file which is more than the size because of occupying a lot of space, then you can use this command. Okay, so quickly I'll show this in my terminal as well.
And that's the first command in the example. It means both files and directory.
Yeah. First command is actually refers only the file. So in case if you want to do directory, then you will have to do, you cannot do the directory search and file search at the same time. So are you meaning that? Do you mean that? So
no, that's what now
that
I am
cannot be
trying
done.
to find
So
difference between first and third.
first and second.
First and third.
First
Third
and
one
third
you put
command is
F,
doing
right?
the search. Third command is doing the search based on this file size. size of the file. There is no name here. It's not doing the search based on the name. It's doing the search based on the file size. Make sense?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because I
So
thought F means file and D means directory. And
F means
that,
file and D means directory. That's correct. So that's
and
correct only. That's
surname
correct.
you didn't put anything.
That's what I was saying. By default, even if you do not give F, it will take it for files. By default, it will
Okay,
take it
okay.
for files. If you want to do a search specifically for a directory, then you may have to say type
Okay.
D, and things like that. So that's the reason. That's how it works.
Yeah, clear, clear.
Yeah. So maybe I'll quickly show some examples for the search, file search. So same thing. Okay, I did it like this. I gave a command called find, do the search on the entire root, entire system, and I would like to look for a file named codes. This file is located in my home directory, so I gave this command. So it is giving me as output as find, home/alex/codes.
No, it's slow, so we cannot see the session. We are still at the permission denied. You know, the previous command I think you ran. We are still seeing that only.
There are
Okay,
two
slash
lines at
home,
the
home, Alex course. Yeah, okay,
slash
okay.
Alex.
Now I understand.
Yeah.
So why you get the permission denied?
Actually, I need to check that,
Yeah, you are
Shafi
root, right?
side to
You
do.
are root, yeah. Okay, okay, no problem, no
Yeah,
problem.
I'm in the
Yeah, you are
root
root.
only. I'm in the root,
Yeah.
but still, I
Okay,
don't know
great,
why
no
it's
problem,
giving
no problem.
permission. Yeah,
No worries, no worries. We got the
yeah,
concept.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's about the file search. Yeah.
And if
So
we
can we
instead of front slash, let's say we want to find it in the current location, we should mention asterisk.
location? Yeah. We can give. I think it's dot. I believe dot. Yes, it's dot. The dot actually a period character. So if you give the period character, it will do the search on the current directory. Currently, I'm in the
Okay.
home Alex, and if you give find dot, it will do the search on the current directory that we are in.
Okay, find period is for current directory.
Yeah.